In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to initiate with inertia. I consider this to be intermediate because it requires a lot of body movement. Not only with yourself, but the car, because your inputs are pretty substantial. You're literally trying to force the car to initiate a drift by forcing its weight, by forcefully transitioning the weight from one side to the other, changing directions really abruptly. You can do a lot with the car by weight transfer, whether it's braking, whether it's accelerating, and in this case, the direction of where you're trying to throw the car in. In the next clip, I'm going to show you all three camera views, and I'm going to demonstrate and break down how to do it. I began by steering in left, right, and then left again. And then once the car broke traction in the rear, I just maintained the slide. My line was also declining radius, so I also had to shift back into first once I slowed down the car enough, but I had to keep the momentum going. So once I transitioned the weight and the car began to slide, I caught the steering wheel after counter steering and then just maintained throttle. And just following the line of that decreasing radius, I knew I had to slow down the car just a little bit, but at some point I'd lose momentum, so I shifted down to first again and then kept going. The weight transfer is pretty easy in itself, and once you get the hang of it, it's pretty predictable. So here's a bigger view from in the car, and you can see how my inputs were pretty aggressive, but once I got the car to slide, I basically had to catch the steering wheel after counter steering and then just maintain the slide afterwards and keep the power going. Professional rally drivers and drifters use inertia quite a bit because once you transition from one turn to the next, all you're doing is just balancing power, throttle, braking, but most of your inputs are really just steering inputs. If you live anywhere that snows, rains, or has a lot of gravel or mud, inertia is actually a really great tool to have because all you're doing is just balancing your weight between all the different entities of throttle, your brake, and your turns. So here's a foot camera, and as you can see, when I first initiate the slide with inertia, I'm not really doing anything with my feet, but once I start the slide, then I start to get on throttle and then continue the slide with momentum. And I'll slow it down again and I'll run through the breakdown. So I initiate turning left, right, and then left again, really abrupt. And then the car will start to step out in the rear. At that point, where I counter steer and catch the wheel, I will also throttle simultaneously and then keep the slide going in efforts to continue the slide. I hope this technique serves you guys well, and when you have the opportunity, go out and find some open space and then just start tossing your car around and you'll eventually get the hang of it. So go have fun and stay safe.